The devil's bargain. Margaret Dane was the embodiment of achievement. By the age of 35, she owned a thriving chain of luxury boutiques, graced magazine covers, and was hailed as a self-made business mogul. Beneath her polished exterior was a steely determination, an unyielding hunger for success. Yet, for all her triumphs, Margaret longed for family. She filled her sprawling mansion with 6 adopted children, each chosen from different corners of the world. To her adoring public, she was the picture of generosity, a woman who had it all yet gave back to those in need. But Margaret had a secret, one dark enough to unravel the perfect life she had constructed. Years earlier, Margaret had been on the brink of financial ruin. Her dreams of success were slipping through her fingers, and desperation consumed her. One stormy night, while poring over ledgers in her failing boutique, a man entered. His suit was dark as midnight, and his eyes glimmered with an otherworldly light. "I can give you everything you desire," he said, his voice smooth as silk. "Wealth, fame, power, whatever you need. But every fortune comes at a price." Margaret hesitated, but only briefly. She signed the contract he produced, a deal sealed with a drop of her blood. "What's the price?" she asked, trembling. He smiled. "You'll know in time." 2 years later, Margaret's life was unrecognizable. Her business had soared, and she was living in a mansion that seemed plucked from a dream. Her 6 adopted children, Sophia, Aiden, Mia, Lucas, Elena, and little Noah, were her pride and joy. But on the eve of the 2nd anniversary of her deal, Sophia, the eldest at 15, vanished. Margaret awoke to an empty bed and no trace of her daughter. Panic swept through the household. The police searched tirelessly, but Sophia was never found. Margaret grieved publicly, her heartbreak splashed across headlines. Yet deep down, she felt an icy dread. The devil's price was beginning to reveal itself. Every 2 years, another child vanished. Mia disappeared at 11. Lucas was gone at 10. Elena at 8, by the time Noah, her youngest and most innocent, turned 6. Margaret was alone in her cavernous mansion, the laughter of her children replaced by an unbearable silence. On the night of Noah's disappearance, Margaret could no longer deny the truth. She lit candles in her grand study and called for the man she had made the deal with. He appeared, as immaculate and menacing as the night they first met. "You promised me success," Margaret hissed, her voice cracking. "But you've taken everything from me." The man chuckled. "You misunderstood, my dear. You didn't ask what the price was. Your children's lives sustain the fortune you cherish so deeply. Every deal has a balance." Margaret collapsed to her knees, her hands trembling. "Take it all back. The wealth, the fame. Just give me my children." The man crouched, his eyes locking onto hers. "I don't undo deals, but I'll give you a choice. Keep your success, or trade it for a chance to join your children." Margaret stared at the floor, tears streaming down her face. The life she had built felt meaningless, hollow without the laughter and love of her children. Slowly, she rose to her feet, her voice barely a whisper. "Take me to them." The man's smile widened. He snapped his fingers, and the mansion dissolved into darkness. When the sun rose the next morning, Margaret's mansion stood empty, its windows dark and its halls silent. Her empire collapsed soon after, her businesses inexplicably failing without her guidance. The house became a ghost story in the community, whispered among locals who claimed to see shadows of children in the windows or hear faint laughter on quiet nights. As for Margaret, she was never seen again. But some say that, on stormy nights, a figure can be glimpsed in the mansion, clutching a contract and weeping for the family she traded away.